So good morning, everybody. And thank you for joining our elementary virtual tour here at the Australian International School today. My name is Eal and I'm one of the admissions managers here. We have a wonderful panel of teaching staff on our tour today who will take you through some of the learnings at AIS. But before I hand them over, I've just got a couple of points to cover with you if that's okay. Please be aware that this session is being recorded, and can I ask everybody to place themselves on mute for now, and then a little bit later in the session we will open up for questions and answers. The best way to enjoy today's session is to ensure your Zoom is set on the speaker mode. You can enable speaker mode by clicking the view in the top right hand corner of your screen and selecting speaker. Thank you. So now I will hand over to our wonderful head of elementary school, Mrs. Emma McCauley. Thank you, Emma.
Thanks so much, Elle. And as Elle mentioned, my name is Emma McCauley and I'm absolutely thrilled to be the head of elementary at the Australian International School. Without further ado, I will start our virtual tour. And where I'm positioned in the lower elementary area. And what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be looking at various areas in the school, starting with lower elementary. I will then hand you over to our deputy head, Eal Patel. You will then view our art and music rooms, library and Year 5 space. But before I start this virtual tour, I just wanted to share with you something about myself. I always think connection with our families and friends, the power of a personal story. So what I love most about AIS is the sense of the community and belonging that you feel when you enter the gates. It is perhaps one of the best decisions we have made as a family to work at AIS and to have our children experience an AIS education. Today, you will be treated to a snapshot of key learning and playing areas and some of our exceptional staff at AIS. Shortly, I will show you a glimpse of our outdoor spaces, which, may I add, span a kilometre end to end. We will then move to the Year 2 learning space and various other areas in the elementary school. We are very fortunate in the elementary school to be part of a 6-month through to Year 12. Hi guys, we've got our lovely Year 1 students just walking down now. They're on their way to gross motor activities, which I'll explain to you a little bit further on. We will then have a question and answer session with myself and Eal Patel, our Deputy Head of Elementary. The lower elementary outdoor education space is a hive of activity in the early mornings. You will see students engaging in co-curricular activities, playing and interacting with friends before lessons commence at 8:30 a.m. And it's just so much energy at the moment as restrictions are eased in Singapore, and all the students can really enjoy this outdoor learning space before they enter the classroom every day. The lower elementary outdoor space is also used for PE lessons, and currently, as I mentioned, the students are eagerly engaging in our gross motor sport activities that are designed specifically for our prep Year 1 and Year 2 learners. And you may see that they're all in different colours. So we have a colour house system at AIS, and we have our 4 colours: Derwent, Lachlan, Fitzroy, and Lachlan, and I just can't think of that last one. But that is central to our building of community spirit at AIS, and that 4 colour house system is out through from prep to Year 12. Students in Year 1 and Year 2 love playing on a range of equipment, climbing and basketball areas during recess and lunch. And not to forget our very own Billabong Cafe, a wonderful meeting point for all our students, staff and parents. And you may just see at a glimpse, we have a Mother's Day stall happening in the lower elementary area where our exceptional friends of ASPA, our parent association, has organised a Tabitha Mother's Day stall for all our students from prep to Year 5. Simply exceptional. It is with a great delight and joy that I hand over to Ms. Eal Patel in our Year 2 learning spaces. Thanks, Eal.
Good morning, everyone. Eal Patel, Deputy Head. I have the privilege of being up here in the Year 2 space. Just going to flip my camera for you so you can see. This is one of the shared spaces here. We've got the library pod here, but as you can see, there's a Year 2 class here, and they are actually working in the innovation lab up here in Year 2. The children are exploring Lego spike kits at the moment. They're using their iPads and they're programming, they're building, they're constructing, they're being inquirers. As you can see, this is an amazing learning space, and the children love coming here. We've even got the green screen there for future filming, as you can see. What I'll do now is I will hand you over to Theo, who's actually in the art studio right next to me.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Theo, and I'm running the art department here at AIS. I'm outside one of our 4 dedicated art studios that is the spaces where all our elementary students can come. This is Art Studio 2. So this is in the Year 2 area. And as you can see, the studio is set up specifically for students to be able to do their artist practice in an environment which is an atelier studio environment. In this space, the students get to do 80 minutes of art, dedicated art, run by specialist teachers every week. And in many cases, the units that they are looking at may be linked to what they're also learning in class. But of course, there's also units that are art specific. There are, as I mentioned, there are 4 studios for elementary and across the 4 areas of the school. All our studios have wonderful light. And here, as you can see, there is light where the studio is dedicated towards the classroom areas, as well as light that comes in. And here's a little bit of a snapshot of the view from our Studio 2 across the other parts of the school. I'm going to hand you over now to our music department. I hope you enjoy your virtual visit, and I look forward to catching up with you soon.
Hello, and welcome to one of our music spaces in the elementary school. My name's Jennifer Hill, and I'm actually one of the assistant heads of elementary school. So I'm going to take you on a bit of a journey to see our music spaces. I'll just be on a little bit of a walk next door because we'll end up seeing a ukulele class that you might be able to hear through the wall here. We're extremely proud at AIS to have dedicated and have a very well-resourced music space for our students to learn about and build on their creativity. I'm just going to flip my camera so you can see what's going on as I walk around. Each of our 4 music classrooms is resourced with tuned and non-tuned percussion instruments and a full set of ukuleles. I'm just going to head out of one room and into the next one. This is a lovely courtyard outside the music area. At AIS, we believe that students learn best about music when lessons are practical in nature. Our lessons are focused on music making so that students can experience and make meaning of both musical and broader transdisciplinary concepts through the playing of, listening to, and responding to varied genres of music. This is one of our Year 5 classes. And at AIS, we also pleasingly has reopened with the easing of restriction ensembles, percussion ensembles, and have recently restarted our choir program in lower and upper elementary. At AIS, we also support a very large instrumental music program that allows students to participate in private instrumental lessons with music teachers who teach on campus to deliver lessons in piano, strings, guitar, brass, woodwind, and drums, just to name a few. I hope you've enjoyed the musical part of the tour. I'm going to hand over to our wonderful elementary librarian, Michaela Dalglish.
Hi everyone, thanks so much Mrs. Hill, and welcome to the library. My name's Michaela Dalglish and I'm the teacher librarian for the upper elementary students. So they're the children who are 8 years old to 11 years old. Here at AIS, we are very fortunate to also have 4 dedicated spaces for our libraries across the campus. Today, I'm also very excited to share one of our library spaces with you all. This particular library space is known as the Link, and we service the library needs of students from 8 years old all the way up to 17 years old. We feel that the AIS Library Network is the heart of the school, and as such, one of our extremely important roles is to provide access to information and resources which support our staff, students, and parent communities. Our library setup is quite unique. As I mentioned, our library network is one library with 4 branches located in each of our sub-school areas. Our branches house fiction and non-fiction collections for leisure reading, as well as an extensive collection of non-fiction resources for research purposes. So as I walk through today, you'll be able to see that we currently have, and you won't be able to see all of them because we have 62,000 resources ranging across print-based and web-based materials, all of which we can access 24/7. Our library team take great pride in being able to recommend current and topical literature, organise book clubs, promote upcoming webinars, popular podcasts, and author visits. Our libraries aim to provide access to information and resources which assist our reading community to widen and expand their reading diet. In library lessons, students learn strategies to help them determine a good fit book for them. We encourage students to select a range of different books across genres, including picture books, which it's no secret to the students are my favourite, because picture books provide windows into other cultures and beliefs, as well as at times mirroring our own and reflecting our own culture. High quality contemporary picture books are works of art, sophisticated visual narratives which invite discussion and debate. The language in quality picture books is often complex. I'm just going to move through here as we do have our secondary students in. Is often complex, and the storylines are sophisticated and thought-provoking. The illustrations extend upon or enhance the text, and talented illustrators embed visual literacy elements in their work in order to add meaning and convey messages. Our collection promotes and supports true multiculturalism, a celebration of diversity as our students work towards being internationally minded and globally focused. Also, as part of the library program and in conjunction with the teaching in the classroom, students learn to navigate our library management system to independently search and locate resources within our library. Throughout the year, they also expand their knowledge and understanding of information literacy, digital literacy and research skills, literature knowledge development, and literature appreciation. We're also starting to incorporate some virtual reality components and augmented reality components to our library program, which is also very, very exciting, inviting, and makes it a booktastic space to visit. We look forward to unlocking the doors to the world of reading for you and your child next time you visit one of our 4 AIS Library Network branches. I hope you've enjoyed our tour today, and I will now like to pass you on to Dr. Brady Klein in our spectacular Year 5 spaces.
Thank you very much, Michaela. It's really wonderful to be here with you today. I'm really excited to be sharing with you our Year 5 space. I think it's one of the best spaces we have, and it's at a really exciting point in our elementary school for our students, their last year of elementary, and the chance to show off all the amazing skills they've been learning in the primary years program here. We have some students just transitioning from one class to another. They have a lot of autonomy to direct their own learning and move between classes as they prepare to be in secondary school. But we still remember that they are elementary age students. And we really like to do a lot of hands-on activities. And right here, we can see some students that are doing some pre-writing. Instead of having them write a story and then try to come up with some drawings to go with it, these students are making some drawings that are going to help seed their stories and then help them write some descriptive language. And as I just look into this wonderful classroom here, this happens to be our teacher, Mr. O'Shea, who is probably our most biggest lover of technology and uses technology in so many ways, but we still know there's this tactile elements of learning for our students. And I happen to know that in about 5 minutes, he's going to be leaving this room and going right down the hallway to our new STEAM and makerspace area to do some robotics. So I'm going to walk you down the corridor a little bit. As you can see, we have all of our library spaces right here, so students have really quick access to resources. And these beautiful classrooms with these glass walls, which retract so that we can bring groups of students together. Here in this class, they're just finishing up a maths lesson. And we're really lucky enough to have the space here to have our EAL, our English language learners, right next to our main classes, so they can just be pulled out and get some special support with learning English, but also be right next to their classroom. And the EAL teachers also work with the students in these classrooms. You can see some students are using iPads, some are using books. We really like to give our Year 5 students a lot of agency over how they choose to learn. Hi, guys. So as we come around the corner, you can just see we have more resources and some special support services where we can pull out students to give them, in this case, a reading assessment. Students working in lots of different ways. I think this is a writing assignment right here that they're working on. But you also can see that some of them are using technology for some research. We really encourage that. And we just have all of our students have just begun using like Apple Pen styluses, which is really exciting for them to start really using their iPads as a digital notebook. The last classroom I'll just poke in our heads into really quickly. In this classroom, it's Friday and all the students are getting a lot of choice on how they work. They're all working really hard, but how they work and what they work on, they've got a lot of flexibility on that. So here we can see them all hard at work, and we have some people giving some extra support and teacher doing some one-on-one conferencing with the students. So as you can see, it's a very happy classroom. And I think with that, I am going to say good day to you, and I'm going to pass it back to Ms. McCauley. Thank you very much.
Hello, welcome back. Emma, you and Narelle are together? Yes.
We are.
Thank you. So families, this is the time that we open up for you to yourselves and see if you have any questions for us that we can help you with. Today, we have an amazing admissions team that can also help with questions later on if you've got any that pop up afterwards. But please, if you do have any questions now, if you can just put them in the chat function, I can read them out and we can answer those for you while we've got these amazing ladies with us. It's a great time to talk to them directly if you've got some. Ladies, we do have one question that's already popped up. We've got a little boy coming from Japan. He's a little bit scared coming over because his English isn't very good. And the mum just wanted to ask around our EAL and how often he will be having those lessons each week.
Yeah, thanks, Ellen. That's a great question. And I think that might be an area that we'll include on our next virtual tour, definitely, because our EAL department is huge. We have 2 EAL teachers per year level, plus they're supported by EAL teacher assistants. We are incredibly proud of the way our EAL program has grown over the last 4 years. And in regards to children coming here with minimal language, it is very common. And that's the beauty of what we celebrate at the Australian International School. In regards to the support your child will be receiving, they will be receiving 40 minutes a day, and that's intensive, pull out of class. And also they will also be receiving everyday support within the classroom. So it's both a pull out and support in.
Fantastic, thank you. And Meryl, I've got a question here. We've got a family whose paperwork took a lot longer than they thought they were going to take. They were originally planning to start with us at the beginning of this term, but not 100% sure when the paperwork's going to be finalised. Is it okay to start during term at AIS?
Of course it is, and we will make sure that the process is seamless for your child and for you, of course. We want to get them into school just as much as you do.
Fantastic. Lunch, I love the lunch questions. It's always something big to me. Can students go to the canteen at lunchtime? Do we have a canteen, and what is available there?
Yes, we do have a canteen. We've got one main canteen that services our lunch orders in the elementary school. So what we found through COVID is actually the ordering system online really works for our students. So if your child wants to order or wants lunch, they go through an ordering system. But our years 3, 4 and 5 students can purchase food from the canteen. For parents, we've got a parent cafe that's just recently opened. It's been wonderful this morning to see parents leisurely enjoying a coffee and a conversation together as well.
Fantastic. We've got one mum who picked up well about Brady and saying that year 5 was the end of our elementary school. She's just asking what happens in year 6. They're coming from Australia, and year 6 is still in elementary school where she's coming from.
Yeah, I can talk to that. I've actually worked extensively in Australia, mainly in Sydney, and the school I was at before, they were exactly like AIS. So they're primary, which is what you'd be referring to it rather than elementary in Australia. Their primary year, our primary years went from prep to 5. So it is common both in Australia as well as overseas that some primary schools do end in year 5. The transition is seamless for our year 6 students. I can speak as an employer, colleague, and also as a parent this year, having a child in year 6. Our year 5 team works closely in term 4 with our year 6 team to ensure the transition, as I said, is seamless and transparent. And the year 6 program builds on the teaching and learning in year 5 and prior. And regardless of what year they're in, up until year 8, we implement ACARA. So that's the Australian National Curriculum.
Fantastic. And just on what you've just said there, Emma, I've got a mum asking here about the IB and how does that then sit with ACARA for us?
Yes. So again, it's probably a passion for mine. I love curriculum, so I could talk on and on, so I won't for today's purposes. We are at IB PYP school, but I just say it here, the IB PYP is not a curriculum, it is a curriculum framework. So the ACARA outcomes are mapped to our PYP framework. So we've actually just completed a great graphic that illustrates that, but in essence, our ACARA outcomes are mapped to the PYP framework. And they're interwoven, and that happens in Australian schools where there are IB PYP schools. They're mandated to implement the ACARA national outcomes, and they map them to the PYP curriculum framework.
Fantastic. Neril, a question here for you around gaps and learning issues. We've got a family here that their little boy is a little bit slower with reading, and how will that look for him in school?
How does that look? Well, actually, in our classrooms, our teachers are very skilled and knowledgeable. So it starts at that level where learning is differentiated based on your child's needs, and that's in all subject areas. And additional to that, we have a learning enrichment team, which is absolutely amazing. Every year group has assigned teachers who works with students who have been identified who may need a little bit more support in the different areas of the curriculum as well. And that can often be push in or actually pull out as well.
Fantastic. And just on that, I've got a family asking about textbooks. Do they have to supply their own textbooks?
That's a hard no. There are no textbooks. We're an inquiry school. We're not traditional in the old way of teaching where we use textbooks as such. We use them maybe as a resource for teachers, but definitely no requirement for textbooks for children in the elementary.
Fantastic. Emma, we've got a question here around just getting to and from school, and do we have a school bus?
We have many school buses. I never forget when I first came 5 years ago. It was like I'm originally from Sydney. It was like Sydney Airport. I think we've got approximately 60 buses that arrive daily to transport children from different areas of Singapore and obviously transport them home. And it runs like clockwork. Both Neil and I have done supervision and do supervision with the buses, and credit to the Johnson Bus Company that facilitates that service. It is a very popular service. The majority of our students do take the bus home, and it's door-to-door service. And our admissions team can put you in contact with Johnson's & Johnson's.
Fantastic. Nara, we've just got a question here about our teachers and where do they come from?
We come from all around the world. We're an international school, which is fantastic, even though we have the Australian name as well. So we've got people from Australia, obviously. I'm from New Zealand. We've got other teachers from New Zealand. We've got people from China. We've got people from South Africa. We're very global, very, very global. And that's the beauty of working with a group of teachers who are qualified as well as have an international mindset.
And I think that's our students as well, global from all around the world as well, which is a really lovely mix of children.
Definitely is.
We've got one family here just asking about the size of the school. It's very big and they're coming from a very small school, and they're just asking about how do we help their children settle in, and how does that look?
Yeah, look, again, that's a fabulous question, and a very common question, because we are a very big school. So the schools where our children come from are relatively a lot smaller. We've got different systems in place. We pride ourselves in developing that holistic child. So just a few of the minor processes we have in place when your child starts. They're assigned a buddy to feel that sense of belonging. As you as parents, our ASPA group reaches out to you to ensure that you feel that sense of belonging and community. Our class teachers will be checking in with you regularly over the first few weeks, just to ensure that your child is coming home happy, safe, and also feeling that sense of community and belonging. Because we know as adults that when we have that feeling, we flourish, and so do our students. And I think, Neryl and I are facilitating what we're terming listening tours at the moment, where we're listening and meeting with parents in every year group, and especially the new parents are acknowledging how their children have settled in really well, and the support. Credit to the admissions team who do such a sensational job at in that first stage, and then hand over to the academic team.
Fantastic, thank you. Neryl, big question, extracurriculars. Do we have them, and how does that look?
Or do we have them? Yes, of course we do. And we have a huge range, the biggest range that I've ever seen in my career. And it could be something from robotics to bead making to soccer, you name it, your child's interest will be met. And if not, there's also room for negotiation and discussion, because there may be other children who have an area of interest. They happen during school time, sometimes at lunch times, but they also happen before school and after school. So it caters for everybody's needs.
And does that include sports?
That includes sports as well, for sure.
Fantastic. So families, we're running low on questions now. It's been quite a shorter tour than previous times, but if anybody has any last minute questions, please pop them in the chat while we do have the lovely Neryl and Emma with us. Otherwise, your admissions managers will reach out to you after this session and see if there's anything else that we can work with you on and help you with. So please use that resource. And thank you very much for joining. It doesn't look like we do have any more questions this morning, ladies. So thank you very much for your time. Families, thank you for joining wherever you are around the world. Have a lovely rest of your day.